The incredible resilience of the human body in extreme situations. The human body is capable of feats of survival that often defy logic and science. From enduring falls from staggering heights to adapting to life in extreme conditions, these stories showcase the remarkable resilience and adaptability of humans. Over time, we've learned about the body's limits, but certain cases stand out, revealing just how far those limits can be pushed. These incredible survival tales often leave us questioning how much more we have yet to discover about the human body's ability to endure. In this video, we'll explore stories of survival that will leave you astonished. From individuals who fell from impossible heights and lived to tell the tale, to those who survived extended periods without basic necessities like water or oxygen. We will also delve into the human body's adaptations in extreme environments, genetic mutations that offer unique abilities, and the rare conditions that make some people extraordinary. If you're as fascinated by the wonders of human survival as we are, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the incredible content we share about the limits of the human body. Surviving extreme falls: how the body endures the impossible. One of the most astonishing survival stories in history involves Vesna Vulovic, a Yugoslav flight attendant who miraculously survived a fall from 10 kilometers in 1972 after her plane exploded. Despite the tremendous impact, Vesna lived, suffering from multiple injuries, but eventually recovering. Her survival, often attributed to the specific conditions of her fall and perhaps an unconscious relaxation of her body, challenges our understanding of how much trauma the human body can withstand. Many other similar stories have been documented over the years. For instance, some people have survived falls from cliffs, buildings, or bridges that would typically result in certain death. Factors such as the way a person lands, the surface they fall onto, and even the body's instinctual response in moments of crisis can influence whether they survive or not. These stories demonstrate the fine line between life and death when it comes to high-altitude falls. While science can explain some aspects of these survival cases, such as physics and biomechanics, there's still a sense of awe surrounding the sheer will to live that these individuals exhibit. Vesna's story, in particular, continues to be studied as an extraordinary example of human endurance, as she fell from an unprecedented height and survived what should have been a fatal accident. These cases force us to reconsider the limits of human survival. Can we attribute it all to luck, or is the body capable of activating hidden survival mechanisms in extreme moments? As we continue to explore such cases, they remind us that even in the most unlikely situations, the human body can surprise us with its resilience. Resistance to oxygen deprivation. How long can we survive without air? The body's dependence on oxygen is fundamental, yet some individuals have managed to push the limits of how long we can survive without it. According to the rule of threes, a human can typically survive for 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. However, Alex Segura defied this rule in 2016 when he held his breath for an astonishing 24 minutes in a controlled environment. His achievement, while extraordinary, highlights the potential of human survival under specific conditions. In extreme circumstances, such as being submerged underwater or caught in a confined space, oxygen deprivation can lead to severe brain damage or death within minutes. However, there are rare cases where people have survived longer without oxygen, particularly in cold environments. This phenomenon occurs because the body's metabolism slows down in extreme cold, reducing its need for oxygen and extending the time a person can survive without it. One such case is the story of a child who fell into a frozen lake and was submerged for over 30 minutes. Despite the lack of oxygen, the child was revived and fully recovered. Cold water immersion has been shown to trigger the mammalian dive reflex, which slows the heart rate and redirects oxygen to vital organs, allowing for extended survival in freezing water. While these extreme cases are rare, they highlight the remarkable adaptability of the human body. Understanding the mechanisms behind oxygen deprivation, survival could potentially improve rescue techniques and medical responses in life-threatening situations. The vital role of water and food in human survival. Water is the foundation of life, and the human body depends on it for almost every function. It's well known that humans can survive much longer without food than without water, making hydration the most critical factor in extreme survival scenarios. One of the most remarkable survival stories occurred in 1979, when an Austrian man survived for 18 days in a detention cell by licking the condensation from the walls to stay hydrated. His story illustrates the desperate measures one must take to survive when water is scarce. Without water, the body quickly begins to break down. The kidneys, responsible for filtering waste, can fail within days without adequate hydration. Dehydration leads to dizziness, confusion, and eventually, organ failure. While there are extraordinary cases of people surviving longer than expected without water, they are rare and often involve extreme ingenuity and endurance. Food, while also essential, is less immediately critical for survival. The body can rely on its fat and muscle stores for energy for weeks, as demonstrated in cases of famine survivors and those stranded without supplies. However, prolonged starvation leads to severe malnutrition, muscle atrophy, and a weakened immune system, making the body more susceptible to disease and infection. These stories remind us of the fragility of life when deprived of the basic necessities, but they also underscore the strength of the human spirit and the will to survive. For more survival insights and tips, don't forget to subscribe and stay updated with our content. Surviving in extreme environments. Challenges faced by high-altitude climbers. Mountaineers face some of the harshest conditions on Earth, pushing their bodies to extremes as they ascend to great heights. The higher they climb, the more difficult it becomes for the body to adapt to the lack of oxygen and lower temperatures. Altitude sickness, also known as acute mountain sickness, AMS, can begin to affect climbers at elevations as low as 2,400 meters, causing symptoms like headaches, nausea, and fatigue. In more severe cases, AMS can lead to life-threatening conditions like pulmonary or cerebral edema. Felix Baumgartner's jump from the stratosphere in 2012 is a stunning example of human endurance in extreme environments. Baumgartner jumped from an altitude of 40 kilometers, breaking the sound barrier during his free fall. His survival was due to meticulous preparation, advanced technology, and of course, the resilience of the human body. His jump shows that, even in the most inhospitable environments, the human body can endure with the right preparation. At extreme altitudes, the body's ability to utilize oxygen becomes critical. The Tibetan people, who have lived in the high-altitude regions of the Himalayas for generations, possess genetic mutations that allow them to thrive in low-oxygen environments. Their bodies produce more red blood cells and hemoglobin, enabling them to live and work at altitudes that would leave most of us gasping for air. Mountain climbers and high-altitude dwellers remind us that the human body, with the right preparation or genetic adaptation, can survive in some of the world's most extreme environments. These survival stories continue to inspire and challenge our understanding of human limits. Adapting to cold. Swimming in icy waters and the Bajau people's genetic advantage. Cold water immersion is one of the most dangerous survival scenarios a person can face, as hypothermia can set in within minutes. However, certain populations have adapted to survive and even thrive in freezing waters. The Bajau people, also known as sea nomads of Southeast Asia, have developed the ability to dive underwater for up to 13 minutes due to genetic adaptations. Their larger spleens allow them to store more oxygenated red blood cells, giving them an incredible advantage when holding their breath for extended periods. The mammalian dive reflex, triggered by cold water, slows the heart rate and redirects blood flow to vital organs, allowing humans to survive longer underwater than in normal conditions. This reflex is more pronounced in populations like the Bajau, who have lived for generations in close connection with the sea. Their bodies have evolved to endure low oxygen environments in ways most people cannot. In addition to genetic adaptations, cold water swimmers and athletes have trained their bodies to withstand freezing temperatures. Techniques like cold water immersion therapy have shown that repeated exposure to cold can build tolerance and reduce the risk of hypothermia. However, for most people, prolonged exposure to freezing water remains extremely dangerous without the proper preparation and conditioning. These examples of human adaptation in cold environments demonstrate the body's incredible ability to evolve and survive in conditions that would be fatal to most. Rare conditions and genetic mutations. Unveiling the mysteries of human biology. The human body is full of mysteries, with rare conditions and genetic mutations that offer unique abilities to a select few. One such condition is tetrachromacy, a genetic mutation that allows individuals to see up to 100 million shades of color, far more than the average person. Another rare phenomenon is golden blood, a type of Rh-null blood that is so rare it's only found in a handful of people worldwide. Despite its rarity, this blood type is critical for transfusions in certain cases where no other blood type is compatible. These rare conditions and mutations serve as a reminder of the incredible diversity of human biology. While some mutations may seem like disadvantages, others, like the ability of the Tibetan people to live at high altitudes, offer distinct survival benefits. These genetic adaptations have occurred rapidly, within just 3,000 years, demonstrating how quickly the human body can evolve in response to environmental pressures. Understanding these rare conditions gives us insight into the untapped potential of the human body. As science continues to uncover the genetic basis of these adaptations, we learn more about how our bodies can adapt to extreme environments and situations. In conclusion, the human body is capable of incredible feats, from surviving extreme falls to adapting to life in high altitudes. These stories of resilience and genetic uniqueness remind us of how much we still have to learn about human survival. If you enjoyed this journey into the limits of human endurance, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories of survival.